Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another commentary video today, and we're looking at live coverage of a very wet Spielberg Red Bull Ring. Just give me a couple of minutes just to get the links out and all that sort of stuff, and then we'll get yourselves underway. Live for when I can spell, this would go an awful lot easier. Let's get that out. Get rid of that. Right. So that's there in Tanzo. CRT. Let's post in there as well. There's a few of their guys racing this, and then let's hop onto Discord and let's chomp a few people on here. Live streams. Oh, brilliant. Right then, I think we're about ready to chat. Let's have a look. There we go. Steffers, how you doing? Good evening. Right, just before I get underway with the normal hellos and stuff, just a little mention to a couple of followers that we've had while we've been away, as we watched Brits Burger go and cut the grass. Ninja7, and thanks for following yesterday. Vincim, thanks for following as well very recently. Chrissy Whiskers followed a couple of days ago, and it was Chrissy that took us into the affiliate realm. So we now hit the Twitch affiliate benchmark, so we're now part of that program. So what are you joining me for tonight then? If you're new to the stream, or if you're new to the channel, or if you're genuinely wondering what the hell I'm looking at, this is Tanzo Racing Group. They've partnered with MK Designs, a sponsor of theirs. MK Designs has sponsored this event. It's a 4-race event. This is race number 3 from Red Bull Ring. The winner of the event wins real prizes, actual physical stuff. So that will be the outcome after next week. In terms of what you're looking for tonight, so we've got a 15-minute quali coming up, and then we've got a 40-minute race. The drivers will have to contend with the tyre wear and fuel depletion that you're used to as well. They'll all be running the wet compound tyre, which, although kind of mixes the strategy up a little bit because they've all got to run the same stuff. They all have to run the same sort of tyre. It's how they manage that tyre that's important, because obviously they can mess about with the fuel mix, which dulls the power in the engine and makes traction a little bit easier. Stuff like that they can mess about with. Ricky. Yeah, we've got a few new drivers as well tonight. Do you mean Rick to continue? Is that who the Rick, or is there another Rick in here that I've missed? Please do let me know. A bit more of a full house tonight. We've got quite a few drivers. Qualifying is underway, so I'll take you around Red Bull Ring in just a moment. We'll focus on Carrington. He always gets some love. Good luck, Johnny from Steffers. Yeah, hoping Johnny does have a better race tonight. He's had a couple of unlucky results. He's shown good pace. Oh, good evening, Chris Damo here again. Come on, Carrington, my son. Rick to continue, lovely stuff. Rick, we do give Rick a lot of coverage on here. Rick's designed some nice looking liveries as well. That'll be that you'll probably see in the future. Right then, let's have a quick flick through the grid, see who we've got out and about. There's a couple of drivers still in the pits, but we'll have a look. So first out on track is Pilgrim Paddy driving the snap-on livery car. Rick continues out on track as well. Rick had a really good time out last time, battled the entire way through the race. A really good outing from Rick to continue, so he will be looking to keep that run of form going. Obi-Wan, who's been pretty much at the top of the charts every single race. Danzo joins. So yeah, Obi-Wan's going to be one to watch as well. Then we've got a new driver, Igorski, from RWB. So we'll see how he does tonight. Then we've got Cutler. Cutler is fresh off a 24-hour karting race, so if he's not very tired, I don't know how he'll do. But Cutler again usually mixes it up at the top. Britsberger, who's shown some good pace in practice, he'll be looking to get himself up the order tonight as well. We've got P1 Apache representing the guys over at P1 Race Community tonight. He'll be hoping for a good result. We've got a new driver from RR. So we've got a couple of drivers from RR in. We've got fan favourite Carrington. He's out on track as well on his out lap. We've got One Wing 46, who had some good battles last time out as well at Dragon Trail Gardens. He'll be hoping he can keep in the action. Then we've got Scrabs, who's in the grass at the minute. We've got E-Man 2005, debuted last time out, had a very good time of it as well. He'll be hoping he can get a bit more. Danzo, you need to put wet tyres on, mate. Not going to get on very well with those. Westy Tom's driving the safety car tonight, and then we've got Danzo out on track as well. So catch up with some messages. Come on, E-Man, show what you can do. Thanks for following as well. Carrington 05. Jeno, how are you doing, Jeno? How are you doing? Right, so let's wait for the first bunch of laps to come in, then we'll pick a driver to jump on board with. So if you want to ride on board with anyone in particular, just drop me a comment and let me know who you want. We'll go for a lap around Red Bull Ring. It's a nice short lap, but very technical when the weather is as it is. Sorry, E-Man, didn't see you there. Yeah, he's E-Man's there. He's out of the pits. Go on, E-Man. Next, and Danzo, he needs to get some better tyres on his car because he's not going to go very far with slicks on it. Alright, so we're coming around to the first of the timed laps then, which will determine the starting order for the 40-minute race. Grid position, and this is quite important because as we've seen before, if you get near the top, you can dictate the pace, you can build the gap. Rather than get squabbling, and especially at a track like Red Bull Ring in the wet, you really don't want to be stuck behind. So a 54.5 for Rick. I know faster are available. 53.4 for Obi-Wan. Pilgrim Paddy goes P2. In fact, let me just get some data up. Give me a second. That'll be easier for me to do. There we go. I've got the times at the side now. Cutler with 54.4. To continue, 54.5. P1 Apache puts it in at P1, representing the P1 group. 52.1 for him. He's 6 tenths clear of everyone else. Who else have we got out on track? Cutler was putting a 54.4. To continue, we've covered Igorski, 58.8 for him, and a couple more laps coming in. One Wing is going to be the next person to set as a lap time. Rick on board, yeah, cool. I don't know if you had tyre wear on though, Vincent, because it matters. Tyre wear matters a lot on this. It really mucks up your grip. One Wing puts a 52.7. That puts him second on the grid so far. Right, where's Scrabs? Scrabs is going around his lap now. E-Man's just starting his lap. Danzo needs to sort himself out. Right, so let's find Rick to continue. Quite good to come towards the end of his lap now as well. You did have, right, okay. I chucked some laps in before I started the stream. I can't remember what I did, but it was quite decent. I want to say 51 something. Who's this Cutler fella? Never heard of him. No idea, mate. Absolutely no idea. He's just some northern geezer. Alright. We are on top of the Rick to continue, Megane. as he starts his next flying lap. He just does a personal best of 53.5. Right, okay, so you look for the 100 metre board. You want to be braking just before that, down to third, just to quell the understeer. Rick goes to second, which will give him a little bit of oversteer here. No, he's quelled that, but he's just had to be a little bit more delicate on the throttle. If you're in third, you've still got the torque, but you can drive up the hill a little bit cleaner. Now right to the top of the hill, then this being an uphill braking zone, you can brake a little bit later than you think here. Spot the 100 metre board again, braking just before it. Rick actually probably a little bit early there, down to second, down to first again. He's going into quite low gears here as Rick to continue. It's causing that to happen. If he had stayed in second, he would have been a little bit better with that. Let's just see who else we've got. We've got Britsberger. Let's jump on board with Britsberger as Rick gets himself back going again. Let's see what Britsberger does coming out of here. So Britsberger keeps it in second. Just watch how he's easy. He can plant it and he can still keep going. So a higher gear when the grip is low is probably a good idea with this. He's running brake balance to the rear though, which is quite interesting. So downhill into turn 4, the car will want to oversteer on entry. You just need to quell that a little bit. Sometimes opposite lock works. Need to be careful accelerating because the track banks ever so slightly inwards. It will spit you out. This is the corner where rear brake balance is going to hurt Britsberger, because as soon as he turns in, because he needs to trail brake into this corner to get the line right, but he's managing that brilliantly as Britsberger, but you can see he gets a little bit wild on him. Through the very little left-right section here in the dry. You can carry a ton of speed through here, but it's very delicate in the wet, as you just need to stay on the wet line. As Britsberger follows Cutler through over the crest and down into two final right-handers, almost a 90-degree right-hander this first one, but fourth is fine. You can carry some speed through here, and then down the hill. Need to be very careful on the brakes as he goes into the pits and ruins my commentary. And then just be very careful on your loud pedal as well on the way up. Go Carrington. I was practicing with Rick and Obi. Yeah, I don't do any practice. I just like to go out so I get a feel for the track and what the guys are up against. Best lap at the minute is 51.3. That one was done by Obi. Why aren't you racing then, Vincent? Why don't you get joined up, mate? So at the minute, 51.3 is your best lap. Held by OB1, he holds a 6/10 lead over One Wing, who's just put in a personal best sector in that one. He might go faster, and he does a 51.4, which closes the gap massively to OB1. It's just not enough to get that P1 position, but he has given himself a little bit of breathing space over this man, P1 Apache, with a 52.1. Now nearly 8/10 off the second place man at the minute. Britsberger also on that second row of the grid as it stands. These guys are going to be prime slipstream territory. We've got Cutler out as well. What's he doing? I think he could probably do with some new tyres, Cutler, if he's going in this lap. I think that's probably what he's going to do. Mr. Carrington's burned some fuel off, has gone quicker, 52.8 P7 for Carrington at the minute, but 1.5 seconds off the pace, very close to the American ahead of him, and not only on track but in times as well. Pilgrim Paddy going backwards. The grip is awful out there. The rain really has fallen hard at the Red Bull Ring, and even though they've got on the wet Michelin tyres, they do struggle to disperse all the water, so you still get that aquaplaning effect. So you've got to be really careful. We'll see a lot of this happening in the race, no doubt about it. Rick to continue then, 53.5 for Rick. P9 at the minute in time, but he's got a big lead over the guy in P10. So he seems to be getting more confident with the track now. Let's see if he can improve his lap. He's gone out on some fresh tyres. He's going to go for a flyer now as Rick to continue, so he's low on fuel. We'll see what he manages to do. Igorski has just gone back to 55.1 for Igorski. Still 1.6 seconds behind Rick to continue on the road. Scrabs 58.5 for Scrabs at the minute. He's finding himself off the pace at the minute. It's very difficult to, as he's proving that, it's very difficult to get the balance right on this track, and it will spit you out. E-Man holding 12th at the minute. Has only really put one flyer in. He's going to have to get another one in soon. 2:10 for E-Man. Danzo finally on the wet weather tyres, and this is going to be his flyer. So what can Danzo do? Let's wait for him to cross the line. Danzo's time is a 2:01.9, good enough for P11, just dips ahead of E-Man temporarily. Okay, so qualifying, a couple of minutes remaining. There's a lot of drivers now going out for a last little push, so a lot of them have been into the pits, getting some new fresh boots on there, and they'll go out for another lap. Mikey Rapscallion, hey, how are you doing? I was too late to join, Vincent. Yeah, there's other events, mate. There's other events. So as long as you're on the Facebook page and just drop a comment on any events that the guys put up, and just get involved, mate. Be good to see you on track, and you might even get me waffling over some of your racing. You never know your luck. Okay, so Obi-Wan is going to start another flying lap, and he's in a redesigned livery tonight. It looks very fiery, does that? You certainly won't miss him on track tonight. So he goes off to set another time. One Wing has called it a day, and he's probably parked having a little picnic in his car. Cutler's getting some fresh boots on that. He's going to go for one more go at this. He's going to need to be a pretty quick out lap in order to get a time in before the 50 minutes runs out. Apache had a little mistake on his push lap, so he's just had to go off there. He's P4 at the minute, is Apache, 51.6 for him. Right, so it's very close in the top 5, definitely. Carrington has gone faster, 51.9 for Carrington. It's a massive improvement, nearly a whole second faster than he went before. Just as I said, he had a big gap. He certainly reduced that. So Carrington now holding P5, just 6 tenths off pole position. Very, very close in this top 6, I think, at least. Most drivers, as we see Britsberger go purple in sector 1. Don't get me wrong, there's only one corner in sector 1, so there's a lot of time to lose yet, but he was 3 tenths off. It was 3 tenths faster than anyone else there, so maybe a little bit of track evolution kicking in as the drivers do start to lay some rubber on this circuit. Let's just keep an eye on Britsberger. He's someone that is usually up there. To see him in P7 is a little bit surprising. He's really low on fuel now. That's going to play not only in his favour but against him, because the car's going to be a lot lighter now. They went out with 100 litres of fuel, which is near as makes no difference, 100 kilos, and that's the equivalent of one girl from Birmingham in your passenger seat. So let's see how he gets on. Next sector, he's still purple by 2.5 tenths is Britsberger. This is going to be a very good lap, as he's just got just 2 more corners to make now. Britsberger's really rallying in the time zamp. As long as he makes these 2 corners nice and clean. Let's just jump on board with him. He's carrying a lot of pace. Down the hill straight on the throttle again, but almost as soon as you're on it, you're off it to go on the brakes, cutting as much of that inner curb as you possibly dare, and straight on the power, powering it up the main straight. He's got a 51.0 to beat. He goes 51.4, so that's a great time. Did lose some time in that last sector, but that puts him 3rd on the road at the minute. So he's going to be starting on the 2nd row of the grid, and that's a good idea for Slipstream. So a good place for Britsberger to be right now. Has pushed Carrington down another spot. So Carrington now down to P7, but on another lap. So now he's getting the feel of the circuit a little bit more. Really low fuel in that car. Now we're getting towards the business end of qualifying. The last times are trickling in right now. Carrington's personal best is a 51.9. He does chop nearly half a second off. That puts himself back into P5. 51.5 for Carrington, then a very good lap at the end. Is there any other surprise times coming in? Let me just check the timing screen 1 second. Obi-Wan was personal best first sector, so was Rick to continue. We've not seen much of Rick. Okay, so a little bit of a different start this time around, because the conditions are going to have what's known as a safety car start. So the race will start, the safety car will be leading the field around, and the drivers will set off in a rolling start. We are trusting them to behave themselves. So very much like they do in the GTs, the cars will line up 2x2 as if they were going onto an arc, which is wet enough for Noah's Ark to be out there as well, so it'll be quite apt. And the man that will be hopefully leading them into the first corner is Obi-Wan. Stunning time from Obi-Wan, 51.0 straight. One Wing has had a very good performance as well, just 4 tenths off Obi-Wan's time. So he's very used to the wet conditions, of course. Good luck from Britsberger, good luck from Cutler as well. A lot of guys really putting in a lot of effort in these dying stages. E-Man stuck at it as well. He's going to be starting from the back of the grid. But that means the only place he can go is up, so I know E-Man gets some support in the comments, so hopefully he can deliver. Just while we wait for the start, a big shout out to the sponsors, MK Designs. You can see the logos plastered all over the cars, of course. Alright, so a big shout out to them, and thank you to them for getting behind it. Of course, if you're after anything, track designs, custom stuff that you want cutting or engraving, MK Designs are your people to speak to. Alright, so safety car is getting us underway now. The driver's being trusted then. I don't know what Scrabs is doing all the way up there. Well, it should be One Wing actually all the way up there. Scrabs is leading them away. A couple of drivers still in the pits, so I don't know what's going on here. Carrington's one of them. Anyway, never mind. So we've got the safety car out, just leading the guys around just to get them used to the track conditions. Safety car's going 21 miles an hour. So this was Lewis Hamilton. He'd be on the radio screaming to get that safety car sped up. As you see the drivers just assessing things, seeing how it'll go. Hoping for a good clean race from Steffers. Yeah, me and you both. You do tend to see, especially in these, let me just get that off. You do tend to see in these races that it tends not to be filthy in that regard, but a lot of drivers will make mistakes because of the track conditions. So we've got the safety car then driven by Westy Tom. He's leading the field around. I see everyone's sort of filing in order behind him then. We're waiting for everyone else to catch up. Carrington's playing catch up. He's, I think, the last car to do so. Sorry, the start is confusing. Yeah, me too. I think they were meant to be doing a rolling start, then the idea to have it done behind a safety car. So Westy Tom's driving the safety car. Whether they'll do a lap and then just reset and then do a traditional GT Sport start, I'm not too sure. But one option they've got is certainly just to get underway from here. I'm not too sure, Damo. We'll find out in about 30 seconds, I'd imagine. It's very slow out lap though, so if they are starting here, these tyres are going to be ice cold. So setting to the last corner now. The safety car should peel off here, and then we'll get underway with the race. I've got a lot of out of position cars. Yeah, there we go. So what's going to happen now is the final will start, and that means we'll just revert back to what we know. So we'll have a confirmation of qualifying standings on your screen, and then it is as you'd expect it now. So rolling start, then because of the wet conditions, it's probably an awful lot easier to do this. So I'd have like 15 cars backwards on the start line, because at Red Bull Ring it's an uphill start and it's just not what you want. So the cars are going to be nice and evenly spaced out, at least going into turn 1. It should at least mean that there's a lot more space between the cars. as the lights go out and we get underway for race number 3 from the MK Designs Renault Megane Trophy. All the drivers will form some form of slipstream train. One Wing got a really slow start though, wasn't quick enough on the mark, and Britsberger's going to try and move up the inside. One Wing just able to cover that one off in time. Cutler right on the back of Britsberger now. We've got compromise going into that turn, and in turn Carrington right on the back of these. The drivers can't see much going up the hill. This is literally on board with Carrington as he goes up. He'll probably pick a slightly earlier braking zone than the guys ahead. Yes, he does. But there's a big gap to Apache behind, so Carrington then going to try and slide up the inside of Britsberger. It's all about who gets the best traction, and the winner of that is Carrington. He's up to P4. Britsberger's going to try and fight this one on the outside though, but he's going to really struggle because Cutler's Britsberger's actually defended that one brilliantly. Got a really good drive down the hill, but Carrington on the inside just about able to hold Britsberger off, gives him space at the apex. Good driving, guys, as we see Anubis get past Apache in the background. So a nice move there by Carrington up to P4. Rick to continue, another fan favourite, P9 for him at the minute. He's got Danzo behind him and a little bit of a gap developing to Pilgrim Paddy. Rick just needs to get his head down and just develop his own strategy now. He shouldn't really concern himself with too many other people. If he just keeps his head and keeps consistent, keeps the car on track, he'll be absolutely fine. Let other people make those mistakes. Igorski running P11. Eman P12 has made a spot up on Scrabs. So Scrabs at the minute doing some off-roading, and that Megane can attest to it not being very good off-road. But of the other side of the field, Obi-Wan is still leading us away. He holds an 8 tenths gap to One Wing. One Wing is 1.8 seconds out of Carrington now. He's got past Cutler. Why did that happen? Oh, second to last corner. Second to last corner, so Carrington now up to P3. As we start lap number 2, a long way to go, and this Britsberger's got past Cutler as well. So just a border Carrington looking behind. Britsberger's going to have a really good run on him though, going up to turn 3. Does Britsberger go for the move? He does indeed. Britsberger up the inside of Carrington. Cutler's going to take that invitation as well, as Carrington was compromised, and Carrington's out on the not so grippy stuff. Is Anubis going to get in on the action as well? Anubis now fighting with Carrington, who's lost 2 positions in one corner. Carrington did defend that, but moves back over to the racing line. Anubis then invited to take the inside line. Not as grippy out there though. Carrington will swing back over. Yes, he does, and defends that P5 brilliantly. Rick to continue has made a place up as well. He's up to P8 now. I don't know who's fallen off the track. It was Pilgrim Paddy. Pilgrim Paddy must have had an off somewhere along the line, because he's now down all the way into P12. Right, okay, One Wing up to P1 now. Again, I'm missing all sorts here because it's just all happening at the same sort of time. That had happened earlier on in the lap. So One Wing now up to P1. He's already pulled 1.2 seconds clear of Obi-Wan. He's all kicking off, and it's gathering up pace in the battle for third as well. Britsberger just about pulling ahead of Cutler, but then you've got Carrington, Anubis and Apache all very close behind. Carrington going for a move on Cutler into turn 1. Turn 1's not normally an overtaking spot, but it is today. Carrington's got that move made before the braking zone even starts. Nice and easy on the brakes, covers the apex off, and Cutler then can use Carrington's slipstream all the way up. We've got a car off. That was One Wing, our race leader. I am going to go back and have a look at that and just see what happened in just a second. But I just want to see if anything happens as we go up the hill. So Carrington then defending to Cutler. Cutler's just too far back. Is Anubis going to go for a move? No, he's not. Right, let's go and see what happened to One Wing. Oh, so we just got a boot full. He's got an absolute boot full. Then he got his toe on the grass, and before you know it, he was turned around. That's unfortunate for One Wing. Then it was running in P1. He's now running P10, 20 seconds off the leader now, which is again Obi-Wan. Britsberger now P2. Carrington, after all that faffing about, holds P3. Cutler and Anubis. Anubis has made a brilliant start to this race. He's really fighting hard, the new guy, all the way from America. So he's battling hard with Cutler for that P4, but he's had a very impressive start to this one. Rick to continue up to P7 then, after one wing falling off. So again, like I said, Rick, if he just keeps his head about him and just keeps it clean, he'll be absolutely fine. Right, sorry, I'm just plugging my phone charger in because I've just realised my phone is dead. Oh, yellow flags are out as well. We've got someone else turned around. Who's that? Who is it? That was Anubis. You know what? That's pure commentator's curse, that is exactly what I shouldn't be doing. I should not be giving drivers a bit of praise and then they deck it. So Anubis was following behind Cutler then, and he's just gonna, he just gives it too much. And it's very easily done. So Anubis at P7, he's got some dirt on those tyres as well because he's backwards at T1 as well. So that has shaken the order up somewhat. That's promoted Apache up to P5. Rick to continue P6 now. And we've got massive issues as Britsberger and Carrington are off the track. Again, we're going to go back and have a quick look at that and see what happened, but that has massively shut the order up. Rick to continue now. He's going to get P4 after all this has been done, because Carrington and Britsberger, I'm going to guess, got involved in some issues, but until we go back and have a look at the replay, I can't really confirm anything. So let's go back and see. So Carrington was following Britsberger up to turn 3. Britsberger slightly defends it. No contact in the braking zone, none at all, but both just completely independent accidents, both just doing a Vettel, I'm afraid, and spinning it off their own accord. Carrington's recovered quite nicely into P5 though. He's lost a lot of time, but he's on the back of Rick to continue, so he can start to make moves. Apache the big winner out of that one. Apache and Cutler, should I say, actually, because Cutler's now in P2, just kept his nose clean. Cutler's now on the tail of Obi-Wan. I get the feeling Obi-Wan's managing the pace a little bit, because he's not putting in hot laps or anything like that. He's just managing things quite nicely. Cutler might be doing the same thing. Apache into P3 now. Rick to continue. P4, soon to be P5. Carrington's going up the inside. He's made 2 overtakes here with Carrington. Carrington regains P4 then, after all is said and done. Rick to continue though can use the slipstream with the CRT driver up ahead to further advance his progress up the field. Britsberger now 3.3 seconds behind that little fight, down in P6, and getting a little bit of pressure from Danzo in P7. Danzo's got a decent gap to Igorski in P8, the other American in the field. Igorski's running quite cleanly, to be fair to him, so we'll see what he can do through the course of the race. And then we've got one wing up to P9, one wing now, and Anubis P10, the two drivers that have had little offs during this race so far. We're not even 10 minutes in yet. Pilgrim Paddy running P11, E-Man at P12 at the minute, just coming up to turn 3, and Scrabs P13. So that's your order, ladies and gentlemen. That will change a lot during the course of this race, I will warn you of that. And it's going to be quite difficult to keep up with it, but we will do our best as a team. Right then, so in terms of tyre strategy, fuel strategy, etc. So these wet tyres, if I just show you on the graphic, because I know we've got quite a few new faces in tonight. So on the bottom of your screen there, you basically get a telemetry data set. So on the very left of that, and you see a little car diagram. The 4 tyres that are shown on that, the more white the better, but you see the little red lines that are appearing on Britsberger's car there, that means that the tyre wear, so that's how much tyre life has been depleted from it. You start to lose tyre performance about where he is, to be fair, and you really feel like if those are halfway down you'd have no grip, especially in these conditions, because the tyre heat would be just too high. Next to that you've got the fuel gauge. So of course you don't want to run out of fuel, so you need to factor that in as well. The drivers can alter their map, so to speak, so they have party mode and all sorts in the car that they can use. They have to balance that with fuel usage during the race. You can also lift and coast through corners and stuff to save fuel. Then you have assists, which are shown as lit up circles or indicators. You've got headlights on and ABS at the minute. That's all most drivers will run with. And then speedo and tachograph and all that sort of stuff in the middle. So that's pretty much what you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep that graph on through the course of this one and give you an idea as we see Cutler's now really reeled in Obi-Wan up ahead. All drivers running on the wet tyre. So the wet tyre is very similar. Oh, Cutler gets a bit of a tank slapper. The wet tyre very similar looking to the tyres you'll have on your cars at home. They have grooves cut in them to disperse the water around the tyre, prevents the tyre from aquaplaning over the surface of the water. You've got a lot of standing water on the Red Bull Ring surface tonight, so it will help a lot with that. But ultimately they're still racing tyres on racing cars at the end of the day. These cars are designed for one thing, and that's going fast. So of course the grip is far from perfect. I see Carrington then putting an assault on Apache, who goes off the road. Apache's managed to keep it going, but unfortunately, as I've just pressed the wrong button on my keypad, but unfortunately let Carrington pass there. So Carrington up to P3 already. A great start by the CRT driver. Has had a mistake in that as well. Hopefully that's his mistake out of the way, and he's up to P3. He's now really reeling in the top guys, and you can see for yourself whether he's using more fuel in doing so. Rick continues, starting to reel in the guys ahead as well. If him and Britsberger work together, maybe they can get themselves back into this fight. Danzo, really good job from Danzo so far, P7 for him. We have to understand, I mean, he's running plumb in the midfield, but he was pretty much at the back of the field, if you remember, at the start of the race, so he's just lapping nicely. Is Danzo, and he's doing a really good job representing next gen, of course, as we see Britsberger up ahead go for a move on Rick to continue. I guess a little bit bumpy mid apex. Rick goes for the cutback, doesn't get that move. Britsberger struggles to get the power on, and Rick has to go out of the way. That's going to bring Danzo into the fight. You can see the exit Danzo got out of those. You're just right on board with the next gen driver. He's going to really try and get involved in this fight for P5. As Rick gets a good old tank. Don't put your foot down, don't. That's it, Rick. That's it, Rick. That's how you handle it. And credit to Danzo there as well. He just got out of it completely and just let Rick recover. So great racing from Danzo. Good recovery from Rick. Got to doff my hat to both of those gents. Well done. One Wing, who at one point was winning the race, is now 19 seconds adrift off the leader, but is reeling the guys ahead in who are starting to fight a little bit. He's putting personal best sectors in. The race is far from over. Anubis, another one who was running quite nicely in the field and had a brilliant start. Again, race is far from over for these guys. Anything can happen. Igorski P10 next here, so two Americans in P9 and 10 at the minute. E-Man, kind of in no man's land at the minute is E-Man, but I'll tell you what, he's managing his tyres and his fuel nicely. So he's no worse than anyone else in the field at all. Scrab's doing the same, to be fair. Pilgrim Paddy, P12 for Pilgrim Paddy. I think these two are just going for a bit of a Tokyo drifteroo. Love the commentary, by the way. Cheers, Vincent. Thanks, mate. I'm far from a professional commentator. I'll just waffle nonsense, but I'm glad some people appreciate it. Steffers can't watch anymore. Well, you got 26 minutes left, so get a cup of tea and strap in. Your boy's running solid P3 at the minute, and he's 3 seconds clear of Apache. He's actually lapping quicker than the guys ahead as well, so it's promising for Carrington at the minute. He's just got to keep his head. Of course, one thing that anyone that's new to this race series especially will know is this all gets mixed up in the pits. There are some drivers in the field, the regulars will know exactly who I'm on about, that are exceptional at saving their tyres and fuel, and will often get a lot of their overtakes done in the pits just by being more efficient. So that will often play a part. I'd probably say a solid 1 stops on the card for most people today, just given the tyre strategy is pretty much evened out for the entire field. So a one stop pretty much guaranteed. Probably a little bit of fuel management for one of the stints is needed to bring that home. Or a two stop is also doable, but not. It's only really for fuel that you'd ever need to stop twice. So most drivers are managing to take a tank of fuel 20 minutes. So if you can do that, you're alright. Cutler and Obi-Wan then. Cutler and Obi-Wan have swapped positions, so these are two of the people that are really good at managing those fuel and those tyres. Cutler, of course, a Carter in real world, someone I've raced against many times. A very frustrating person to drive against, because often there were tracks and stuff that I was much faster than Cutler at, but just because of his strategy knowledge and how he can save his tyres, and he knows exactly where to place his car at the right time, he's a very frustrating person to race, and that led me to cook it once or twice. So Cutler's now up into P1. I didn't mean to ask him how he got on at karting. I know he was chasing people. We had a text update from him halfway through, so I know he was due to do the morning stint. So hopefully he's feeling refreshed now. Obi-Wan following him around. Obi-Wan's got a big gap to Apache. Carrington, I want to say he's pitted now because he's pitted. That puts one wing up into P4 and Apache up into P3. Those guys are both going to have to come into the pits soon. Carrington now, he's got fuel and tyres, just needs to be nice and consistent, just work his own race. He's got a slab of track just to drive around on, no one around him. Use this stint wisely, because this will determine the race. Which brake bias are they driving? -1. Most are driving to the rear, which is weird because these are mid-engine cars. So what they're doing on Red Bull Ring is, the most efficient way to drive Red Bull Ring is on the uphill sections you go to the front, and the downhill sections you go to the rear. And it's just to balance the car a little bit and basically stop the front end from biting too much on the rear swinging around. Most are driving with brake bias slightly to the rear. I can't see that unless they are letting me see it. Yeah, I can't see what the brake bias is for most of them, but most of the guys do drive with the brake bias slightly to the rear, which in dry conditions does help this car rotate, so it helps it around the corners because you get that back end nice and loose. But in some conditions it doesn't always work. So this is where Obi-Wan's trying to get the overcut on Cutler now, so he's staying out a lap longer than Cutler is. Cutler is out of the pits. He is all refreshed and ready to go for his next stint. He's got 22 minutes remaining. Carrington now re-inherits P3, but he was one of the first people to pit, so he's going to have the oldest tyres at the end. So he's got to manage a little bit now without losing the time ahead. Apache, on the other hand, will probably be pushing a little bit to reel Carrington in. He'll want that slipstream from him. We've got Rick to continue, P5 from Rick at the minute. He's just been in the pits as well. Really solid race from Rick so far. Definitely don't want to commentators curse this guy. One of the nicest guys I've met. Really hope he gets a good result out of this race, and so far he's doing a brilliant job in P5. One wing, P6 for him. He's recovering his race really nicely. He's pitted as well. As we see Britsberger and Anubis having a little bit of a battle for P7. Anubis has pulled out the slipstream then. He's going to go for the move down the inside. Anubis looks like he's got that. No, he's pulled out of it. So Anubis, is he going to get back traction? Oh, they're both very tentative on the pedal. There was a little bit of contact. There was a little bit of contact between Anubis and Britsberger. I do definitely think that was accidental, and Anubis waits up for him. We'll jump on board, but that lets Danzo through into P7. Britsberger's now got dirty tyres because of that contact. So let's jump on board with Anubis and just see what happened from his point of view. As it's the exit of T4, Anubis goes for the inside line. That was a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Britsberger could have given him a little bit more room, but Anubis could have backed out of it as well. So nothing doing with that one, I don't think. Let's just see what's going on elsewhere. Anything? No. Danzo P7, we've covered that. Anubis is looking like he's getting through him. We'll go and check in on Britsberger in a second. Igorski P9 for him at the minute. Similar to Rick, Igorski's just running his own race at this minute in time, doing a damn fine job of it as well. Britsberger then in P10. He's still struggling to get going. This is going to put him miles behind now, Britsberger. So that's going to be a problem for him. It looks like he's still not getting quite up to pace. He's back underway now, is Britsberger, which is unfortunate for him. Scrabo P11 for Scrabs, but he's coming in the pits now for his pit stop. Pilgrim Paddy is off the track, and Eman's out in P12. He's pitted as well, so he's now going to the end of the race by the sounds of things. We'll see if he manages to do that. Right then, let's check in on everyone else. I'll tell you what, this could get spicy. So, yeah, Obi-Wan's just pitted, so the overcut did work for Obi-Wan. So Obi-Wan's now into P1, Cutler into P2. Cutler's been caught by Carrington, although he's still 3 seconds in it. Let's just see what the lap times are. So Cutler that time's a 55.7. Carrington did a 52.4. So Carrington that lap was 2 and a bit seconds faster than Cutler was. Tells me there's management going on in the Cutler camp. Carrington's probably realising that with the rate is pulling him in. But if he can disrupt Cutler's rhythm, you never know. You never know. But at the same time, Carrington's pulling away from Apache. So if he carries on the rate he's going, he might be able to get in and out of the pits before Apache's really got anything to answer to. So we'll see how that evolves through the race. It's all going to be how Carrington manages this stint for me. Whether he manages to save enough fuel and tyres. Rick's continuing then P5, but is coming under increasing pressure from one wing 46. Rick's last lap of 54.5, 53.3 for one wing, who was 1 second faster than the Dutchman ahead of him. Hey Bolberg, how you doing, Hunty? I have to see your mug every time I go on Instagram, mate. I don't know how happy I am about that. Good to have you on board though, mate, you know, always nice. Any fights going on? Let's have a look. Britsberger's back up to speed. So Pilgrim Paddy's trying to catch E-Man. E-Man's lapping some decent times here, you know. 54.9s, 53.1s, he's doing a good job. Just at the wrong end of the field, but he's getting to grips with it, and I can't hold it enough. This track is hard to drive in these cars, in these conditions. Not bad, mates. Piss off my sexy muddies needed on the internet. Okay then, okay. Thank you for following Night Stalker 55. Appreciate the follow, my friend. Come in and say hello in the chat, of course. Alright, this is where it's at now. Carrington, best lap of the race so far. Out of everyone, a 51.3. Cutler that lap round, 53.3 for him. Now, again, I've got a feeling there's some tyre management going on here, or some fuel management at least. But Carrington now can start to disrupt the rhythm as they come to lap traffic. So the top 3 pretty much sitting on top of one another right this minute in time. If Carrington, oh, and look at that, Cutler gets a wiggle on. Scrubbers gets clear out of the way straight away, but it's causing the top 3 to concertina up Cutler nice and early on the brakes there then. Carrington will want to fill Cutler's mirrors up, and if he can disrupt the rhythm of Cutler a little bit and just get in his head a little bit, hopefully he can put him off. Maybe hopefully get him to make a mistake, something along those lines. Anything else? So Rick's continuing, and one wing, I was just going to say he's hotting up, but one wing's just made a mistake on the exit of turn 4, which has dropped him back a couple of attempts. Yeah, Hunty, I'm alright, mate. I am all good. I am all good, mate. Spent the day cleaning the car pretty much. It was ditched. I went to Wales the other day, so it was filthy. But it's all clean again. On-track action, nothing else really going on. This is where the action is. Good to see action at the top of the field. In previous races, it's all been about back of the field action. We're on board with Carrington then as he starts his 14th lap. You can see the speed advantage he's got on Cutler there. Cutler's having to go defensive, and because he's having to go defensive, he's having to think about Carrington more than his own lines and braking points. Carrington's throttle control there was absolutely bang on. He realised the wheel spin straight away and just backed off the throttle completely. Now coming up towards turn 3, the biggest braking zone on the circuit. Is Carrington going to go for the move down the inside? Cutler does defend it. I feel that's what Carrington wanted him to do, as he immediately backs over to the racing line. Does he go for the old switcheroo here, hoping Cutler goes deep into the corner? Carrington makes that corner nicely, but no overtakes to report at this stage. Come on, CRT Carrington. He's doing well at the minute, mate. He's in P3. As we see Cutler and Obi-Wan fighting for that P1 position. So Obi-Wan holds that. Cutler's out wide. That's going to be Carrington into play. Oh, it's all going off the top. 3 divided by 6/10 of a second. Then as we near the closing 10 minutes of this race now. It could be anyone's. Let's just jump on board again with Carrington. We got a really good view of the action when we were on board with him. Oh, Carrington got a tank slapper there. Because he's following 2 other cars, his front aero's not going to be as efficient as it usually is, so he's going to be struggling for traction as he's following these 2 cars around. Obi-Wan's not going to have that problem. We get a yellow flag out for a car beached out of the last corner, but we're not concerned about that now. This is what we're concerned about, the battle for P1 currently being won by Obi-Wan. You can see how much this has slowed Carrington right down, but just the lap before we caught up to the back of this, he was doing 51.3s. He's now in the 53.9s. Carrington needs to be either using this to save some fuel, because he needs to think about his fuel tank, does Carrington, or he needs to get past them. So one of the two. Can't take it, says Steffers. Nice driving, says Vincent. It's all go in the battle for victory here at the Red Bull Ring. Obi-Wan having to go defensive once again as he approaches turn number 3. Cutler might be able to get a better exit because of that. He does. Cutler gets on the traction really nicely. A little bit of a wiggle on now as they go downhill towards turn 4. This is one of the hardest braking zones on the circuit. The track suddenly dips away from you, and the turn 4 itself is slightly off camber, so it's hard to get the power down. Obi-Wan has to go defensive. That's going to mean his angle's a little bit more acute than he'd like it to be. Getting on the power is going to be difficult for Obi-Wan. Cutler's not going to have the same problem. He drives right up to the back of him, but no move can be made. Obi-Wan just parks the car right in the middle of the circuit. Down to T5, then Cutler fills those mirrors up once more. But unfortunately nothing can be done. These 3 find it really difficult to get past one another right now. It's going to take a dive, and that's what Cutler does. Cutler goes up the inside of Obi-Wan at turn 6. Brave move. A very brave move by Cutler, and executed really nicely. Obi-Wan must be given credit for giving him the space. It would have been easy to shut the door on him, but he decided against doing just that. So Cutler leads the way. Obi-Wan P2. Carrington just 2 tenths behind Obi-Wan. Carrington can smell blood now, and he's out for that. He's going to go up to his favourite overtaking spot into turn 1. Carrington's pulled a couple of moves here before, draws alongside the P2 man Obi-Wan. He's going to get this move made up into turn 1, I think, unless Obi-Wan can hang it round the outside. Obi-Wan tries it, but that's going to put him off the track. Cutler's off the track as well. That's going to give Carrington a run up to turn 3. So Carrington could take both of them here in 2 corners. Carrington's got that move made. He's going to have to defend this one though. Cutler's going to go for the move down the inside. Cutler actually backed out of that one, so Carrington now up to the lead of the race as we near the 10 minute to go mark. Cutler gets a slide on coming out the corner. He's that eager to get on the power, and Obi-Wan now dropping back a little bit as well. So Carrington then up to P1. It's about now how he manages the rest of this race. He's got 10 minutes to go. He needs to assess just how much he can do. There were some really good moves there by Carrington to get him up to P1. He can now put that pace to good use. Probably put a few good laps in, get a gap built. That's what he needs to do now. Let's check in on the rest of the field. We've been watching that battle for 3 laps solid. We've forgot there's about 12 other cars on the track. So Apache 8 seconds behind that battle in P4, holding station over Rick to continue. Rick to continue. P5 has built a 5-second lead now over One Wing. So Rick to continue having a fantastic race. His slowest lap of the race last time round for Rick to continue actually, but he's still managing quite nicely. One Wing, P6 for him, bit of no man's land, but he has got 32 seconds over this little fight for P7 between Anubis, Danzo and Britzberger. Don't forget, Britzberger and Anubis both had offs in this race so far, which has put them in this position. These drivers both should have been fighting further up the field. Anubis gets another bit of a wiggle on, but gets a control over it. Danzo's had a really good race for Danzo actually, but he's made a mistake somewhere along the line because his last lap was torrid. Oh no, he's pitted. Danzo's pitted, that's my apologies. So Danzo's on fresh boots. Britzberger's going to have to pit again. Igorski's just been in the pits as well. Eman, P11 for Eman. Has got a 5.6 second lead, 6 seconds now over Scrabs in P12, but he's a minute behind the rest of the guys, I think because he's I think he did have an off somewhere and waited for the cars. Pilgrim Paddy's retired the car by the looks of things. This is a 4-minute long pit stop, so unless that's a Mercedes crew from Germany 2019, whatever it was. Yeah. Meanwhile, top of the field, Carrington leads away. He's not pulling away as fast as we thought he did. Cutler holding P2 at the minute, along with Obi-Wan in P3. Cutler may... In fact, we'll come back onto that in just a second. Let's check in on this little fight. Britzberger has pitted, so he's just between Danzo and Anubis now. Both drivers look like they're fueled and tired to the end. So this is a straight up battle for position in P7. Johnny needs fuel. Yes, he does need fuel indeed. Cutler doesn't, neither does Obi-Wan. So Carrington drops back. What's happened here to Carrington? Oh, we got a wiggle on. He got a wiggle on coming out of turn 6. That has let those two up ahead, but all is not lost because in theory he's not directly racing them right now. He's got, I think, a fuel. Obi-Wan's... Oh wait, no, I'm reading the thing wrong. Just a splash and dash though. He's got a decent enough gap to Apache. Well, let's follow Apache then. See if he comes out ahead of Carrington. He's just coming up the start-finish straight now. He's going to be braking into turn 1. Can Carrington get out in front of him? I think Apache's going to get him in the pits, you know. He is. Apache's got Johnny Carrington in the pits. Carrington comes out now. He's going to be on fresh rubber. Plenty of fuel though. Oh, there's chaos up ahead. Obi-Wan is off the circuit. Obi-Wan is off the circuit. What happened there to Obi-Wan? Let's go back and have a look. Oh, so this was braking into turn 3. Did he overcook it on the exit? Oh, he gave it a bootful far too early there, and off the circuit he went. Unfortunate for Obi-Wan, but that does put Cutler a couple of seconds clear at the top then. 1.8 seconds is the lead. P2 held by Obi-Wan, 8.3 seconds ahead of Apache. Apache's got a 12-second advantage over Carrington. Carrington's got plenty of fuel now. A big gap over One Wing. Don't forget, this is still a good result for Carrington. He was a lot further down than that. Where was he in quali? Like P5, P6, something like that. So still a good result. One Wing's going to need fuel as well. Rick to continue has fueled up, so he'll regain that P5 in the pit stops, I think. Anubis and Danzo still kind of squabbling out for that P7 spot. Igorski and Britzberger still squabbling. Let's follow this fight for just a second. Both drivers have pitted and have got enough fuel and tyres to go to the end. Britsberger on traction. Lovely overtake there by Britsberger, just gets a move made up the inside. Nice move by the Dutchman. Scrabs up to P11. I think E-Man's been off. Yeah, he's off again, I'm afraid, as E-Man. So P12 for E-Man right now. Cutler's picked up a penalty somewhere. 1 second. That'll have to be served by the end of the race. I think he's going to try and serve it now. Try and get it well out of the way. Yeah, well served by Cutler. Gets it straight out of the way. Let's have a check. So, Carrington, that lap round. That's not right. No, that can't be right. I was going to say it's 5 seconds quicker, but no, that's not right. That's just the way GT Sport's doing it. 11.3 seconds is the gap between Apache and Carrington. Can Apache make it to the end on that fuel? I don't think he can, you know. I think Apache's going to have to splash and dash this. Carrington might well be on the podium just yet. We'll follow this one though and just see if that comes to anything. Right, to continue, coming up to lap traffic then. You can see P5 up ahead. Rick's on fresh tyres, he's got plenty of fuel on board that car. The chase is on for the Dutchman, trying to chase down the Canadian up ahead. 4 seconds is the gap. He tries to use the slipstream of Scrabs up ahead. Rick continues to bring down the gap to the car ahead. Anubis and Danzo second between those guys. Nothing kicking off with those guys just yet. Britsberger, after getting past Igorski, has pulled out a good advantage. Cutler comes into the pits, he's splashing and dashing. Obi-Wan continues on. Does he need fuel as well? Where does Carrington fall out in all this? So on board with Carrington, then he's fueled to the end, he's got tyres, he doesn't need to stop again. We still think Apache up ahead needs to pit. 53.6 that time around for Carrington. We see Cutler coming out of the pits up ahead. So Carrington stays in P4, but he's a lot closer to the cars ahead now. So Cutler's out. Plenty of enough fuel on that car now. Apache might just be able to stretch this. Saw some numbers chuck around them, but that wasn't quite right. So as it stands, Obi-Wan, Apache holding P1 and P2, but there's question marks over whether those guys need to come in for fuel or not. Apache's very low, so is Obi-Wan. I think they're going to have to come in, and they'll probably choose to do it at the end of this lap. I mean, I can't see the exact amount in terms of kilograms remaining. I'd normally try and work out how many kilograms you need for a lap of fuel, for a lap around this circuit. But at the minute, so we're going to have, I think this is a penultimate lap. We're going to have one more lap after this. Is this you commentating? It is me. It is, mate. It is me chatting away. I'm no good at racing, so I'm talking instead. Right, so Obi-Wan's carrying on. Apache's going to carry on as well. Cutler's right on his arse. Yeah, Carrington's a bit too far back to do anything about this, so it's all going to come down to the last lap. Cutler picks up a little bit of track cut, so does Apache. Cutler's going to regain P2, but if Apache can get round this lap without running out of motion lotion, he should be absolutely fine. Funny guy. Not so much. So Carrington got a little bit of a penalty as well, but P4 holding station for him, a good result nevertheless. One win, P5 for that guy. Rick to continue, he's continuing to hold P6. He's overfueled his car if anything else, so yeah, he could have got away with a little bit more time in the pits. Then Danzo, P7 for Danzo, a good race for him. Anubis, P8, the new guy. Just lapping Scrabs there. Britsberger P9 for him. He made that move on Anubis, but he's had to give that up somehow. Oh no, it was Igorski he got past, wasn't it? Right, let's carry on with the leaders. Do any of these guys run out of fuel? I think they're fine, you know. The only one at risk of doing that's Apache. So Apache yet could run out of fuel. Carrington is 4.8 seconds behind, and Apache's off the circuit. Carrington may well get him here. Let's jump on board the CRT driver. He's doesn't have to worry about fuel at all. He can gun it full beans. Apache's going to be in definite non-party mode map now, and he's fighting for his life. His tyres are cut as well as he goes wide, and that is Carrington up onto the bottom step of the podium. So let's give the drivers the credit they deserve as they come across the field. Obi-Wan, a well-rounded drive from Obi-Wan. Hasn't been without its errors, and he will be pouring sweat from every orifice, but he's bored it home at the minute. Oh, I'll say that, Cutler's right on his tail. It could well be a dash to the line. I think Obi-Wan's just going to keep it. Yes, he is. So Obi-Wan brings home P1, Cutler brings home P2. Well fought. P3. Steffers is going to be happy tonight. Carrington brings it home for the Charlatan Racing team. P1 Apache just about makes it over the line without running out of fuel. One Wing was leading the race for a certain amount of time, and then just made a silly little mistake, if I must say so myself, but brings it home for P5. So good result there for One Wing. He may well be happy with the second part of that race. Rick to continue will be ecstatic with that P6 finish for Rick, so well done to him. An absolutely solid race, and potentially my driver of the day. Danzo, another contender for that absolutely solid and consistent approach. Anubis, new driver, P8 for him. Britsberger, P9. Be disappointed with that Britsberger, because he'll be thinking of what could have been. Igorski, P10. Scrabs, P11. E-Man, P12. Absolutely cooked those rear tyres in the end, and Pilgrim Paddy is having a cup of tea in the garage. But all plaudits, throw the flowers at the feet of Obi-Wan. He's done a sterling job today and brings that car home for P1. Let's catch up with the chat. Nicely done, Johnny. Well done, Johnny. Good race, everyone. Yeah, it was a good race. More entertaining than I thought it would be. I thought everyone would just be a little bit too cautious with it being bucketing down with rain, but no, they went for it, which is good to see. So cheesy celebratory picture then of Obi-Wan with the whatever that thing's called around his neck. Cheers, Vincent. Hopefully see you in one of these very soon, mate. Yeah, that was sweaty for me watching it, so I don't know what Johnny's like. But yeah, it was a good race, that one. So that's race 3 of 4 done. Another time to shout out the sponsor of this event as MK Designs, and search them on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link in the description below. If you're watching on Twitch, sorry, but I can't do anything. Just search them on Facebook, you'll see them. If you've got a burning desire for anything engraving, laser cutting, any acrylic track art, there you guys, because they do all that. Skin of my teeth by Obi-Wan. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong at all. P3 and fastest lap. Yes, of course. Let's have some confirmation of the results, actually. Let's have a look at that. So Carrington with 51.3. Fastest lap for him. So confirmation, Obi-Wan wins. Cutler P2, Carrington P3's best result of this tournament so far. Apache a solid P4. He pulled off a brave one-stop strategy. One Wing P5, Rick P6, Danzo P7, Anubis P8, Britsberger P9, Igorski P10, Scrabo P11, E-Man. Credit to E-Man, he got lapped a lot. He got lapped 3 times. He spent a lot of the time off the circuit, but he never gave up. You know what I mean? I think I respect that an awful lot. Someone who just doesn't give up, and yeah, that's a mentality. Pilgrim Paddy in the end, P13. You're welcome for the commentary. You are welcome. You are welcome. Cheers, Steffers. Next up, so my racing starts up again pretty soon, so I'll be actually behind the wheel again. You may have caught the Spa 2 hours that I did the other night. That was I got on the podium for that, I think. So Spa 2 hours, that's back on the channel. If you want to go back and watch that, you can do. That was very sweaty. My leagues will be starting again very soon, so you'll be pleased to know there'll be some more POV racing from my perspective, so you can come and chat on stream with me then as well. But for the time being, I'm just filling the time with these commentaries and stuff, which is always fun. I'm done after 24-hour race. Right, so that's it from me. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like and subscribe. If you're watching this on Twitch, give me a follow, because it gives me that warm fuzzy feeling inside. And thank you to everyone that has followed so far, of course. Cheers to Vincent for following as well. I appreciate that. So we're now doing quite well. And yeah, that's it from me. I will cut the stream down here. I'll go and jump in the cold shower and cool myself down because it's roasting up. And I will see you all when I see you. Thanks for jumping in. Bye bye. Oh dear.